At this time, we would like to extend a sincere welcome to our distinguished guests. Former Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs, Mr. Tom McCaffrey. Mayor Jim Durrett, City of Clarksville. Mayor Joe Pitts, City of Oak Grove. Lieutenant General Ronald Pace, Defense Health Agency Director. Command Sergeant Major Michael Gregg, Defense Health Agency. Mr. Bill Harpel, Civilian Aide Emeritus to the Secretary of the Army. Ms. Kelly Pendleton, Civilian Aide to the Secretary of the Army, Kentucky West. Mr. Phil Harpel, Civilian Aide to the Secretary of the Army, Tennessee North. Major General J.P. McGee, Commanding General of the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault. Command Sergeant Major Veronica Knapp, Command Sergeant Major of the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault. Rear Admiral Ann Swap, Defense Health Agency, National Capital Region Director. Brigadier General Scott Brower, United States Army retired, former acting 101st Airborne Division Air Assault and Fort Campbell Senior Mission Commander. Mr. Charlie Kuhn, 2019 Champion of Fort Campbell. Ms. Royce Stevens, 2021 Champion of Fort Campbell. A bouquet of red roses is now being presented by Sergeant Logan Harris, Blanchfield Army Community Hospital NCO of the Year, to Colonel Birchfield's fiancée, Robin Mason, on behalf of the officers, non-commissioned officers, soldiers, and civilians of the MEDAC for her dedicated service and support during these past 2 years. Sergeant Harris extends his appreciation and presents a bouquet of spring flowers to Colonel Birchfield's mother, Denise, his stepmother, Debbie, and to his daughters, Savannah. A token of appreciation is also presented to his son, Ricky, and father, David, for their continued support while he was in command. A bouquet of yellow roses is being presented by Specialist Taylor Stuma, the MEDAC Soldier of the Quarter, to Colonel Myers' wife, Melanie Myers, to welcome her into the unit. Through the years to come, may she forge a strong bond with the soldiers, civilians, and family members of the Bach family. In a moment, you will hear the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault Band sound attention. This is a call of alarm, at which time troops turn out under arms and the ceremony officially begins.
Sound attention.
In a moment, the band will sound adjutant's call, which indicates that the adjutant is about to form the formation. Now taking their positions are the commander of troops and the MEDAC staff. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Colonel Brian Friedline, Deputy Commander for Administration.
Sound, present arms. Sir, the command is formed.
Sound, order arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the reviewing party consisting of Brigadier General Mary Krieger, Commanding General, Regional Health Command Atlantic, Colonel Patrick Birchfield, the outgoing commander, and Colonel Vincent Myers, the incoming commander, and remain standing for honors to Brigadier General Krieger.
Sound, present arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Sound order arms. Ma'am, fellow President. Sound present arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for honors to the nation and remain standing for the invocation delivered by Reverend Brett Reeves.
Let's bow our heads for a word of prayer. God of wisdom, God of grace, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for all that have gathered here for this auspicious occasion. We invoke your presence now in the midst of this ceremony and all that's done that it might be pleasing in your sight. We also invoke your presence here at this time of transition for Colonel Vincent Myers, the soldiers and the civilians of Blanchfield Army Community Hospital. Continue to provide guidance and wisdom, God, as they face the challenges that lie ahead. And we also invoke your continued presence and the power of your mighty hand be upon Colonel Patrick Birchfield as he moves on to his next endeavor. And we ask all these blessings in your darling Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated.
Sound attention.
The change of command is a simple yet traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. Key to the ceremony is the passing of the unit colors. The colors represent not only the lineage and honors of the unit, but also the loyalty and unity of its soldiers. The colors are the commander's symbol of authority, representing his responsibilities to the organization. Wherever the commander is, there also are the colors. The custodian of colors is the Brigade Command Sergeant Major Daniel Santiago. The passing of the colors symbolizes the transfer of command responsibility and authority from the old commander to the new, demonstrating to the soldiers of the unit that Colonel Birchfield has passed the mantle of leadership to Colonel Myers, and with this also passes the loyalty and unity of the soldiers. By authority of paragraph 2-5, Army Regulation 600-20, the undersigned assumes command of the United States Army Medical Department of Activity and Blanchfield Army Community Hospital, effective 28 June 2021, signed Vincent B. Myers, Colonel, Nurse Corps, Commanding.
Sound for ready press.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General, Regional Health Command Atlantic, Brigadier General Mary Krieger.
Wow, this is just amazing to be able to actually get together to do this again. Good afternoon, Mr. McCaffrey, great to see you again. Mayor Durrett, Mayor Pitts, Lieutenant General Place, Lieutenant General Schoonmaker, the civilian aides, the Secretary of the Army, Mr. Harpel, and Ms. Pendleton, Major General McGee, Air Assault, Rear Admiral Swap, Mr. Goodman, family of Colonel Birchfield and Colonel Myers, distinguished guests, family and friends of Blanchfield Army Community Hospital in Fort Campbell, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us on this auspicious occasion to honor our outgoing commander, Colonel Birchfield, and to welcome our incoming commander, Colonel Myers. Your presence today is a testament to the impact and the reach of these two outstanding leaders. Pastor Reeves, thank you for your blessing on our ceremony and our organization. Certainly the team appreciates that and will use all of it moving forward. And thank you to 101st Band. You are fantastic. The music really added to our ceremony today. So as many of you know, our military health system and Army medicine is in the midst of both exciting and historic reform and reorganization. Central to the success of these efforts is the ability to prioritize world-class medical support to operational units while at the same time ensuring that same level of support for the day-to-day provision of healthcare in our MTFs. This is how we maintain faith with our nation and our communities. For the past 2 years, Colonel Patrick Birchfield has led this hospital team to success in both of these. And beyond the hospital, I had the chance to walk around and to the Center of the Intrepid today and to our Soldier Recovery Unit, and his impact of leadership is felt across the formation. His ability to simultaneously prioritize the readiness of the installation, the 101st Airborne Division, 5th Group, 160th SOAR, and all the tenant units here, their families, as well as the readiness of the medical force within the hospital, has resulted in unprecedented success in the midst of a global pandemic. Early in the course of COVID-19, when we were all still learning what that meant, Blanchfield supported Fort Campbell through COVID testing, drive-through pharmacy operations, and force health protection recommendations to defend this community from disease. And all in the midst of providing outstanding inpatient and outpatient care and ensuring that the medical team at Fort Campbell maintained proficiency in their skills to support the warfighter, whether at home or on the battlefield. And then, once vaccine for COVID-19 became available, Blanchfield was one of the top hospitals in getting shots in arms, averaging over 2,000 vaccines a week. That means over 52,000 soldiers and civilians have been vaccinated in this community to date, allowing gatherings just like this professionally, and then the ability of us to get together as a community and enjoy each other's company. That is a huge impact and not to be understated. And while Patrick has taken Blanchfield to new heights by every metric, true great leaders prioritize the success of the enterprise over the sole success of their team, extending their impact beyond the local organization. And Patrick is just that kind of leader. His positive influence was felt throughout the region due to this commitment. My staff briefed me up that when the need arose to cross-level at one type of vaccine, Patrick already had the other two types here and was moving out with the community. But in order to cross-level so that the entire Atlantic region could take care of our population, he took that on. And his expertise in logistical and operations, that Blanchfield led the way. And so the region recognized him in that. And in the midst of the pandemic, Patrick never took his eye off the no-fail mission of providing world-class care at Blanchfield and preparing it for successful transition to the Defense Health Agency. He and Sergeant Major Santiago prioritized quality care while also embarking on a journey to make Blanchfield an exporter of military medical training, providing critical trauma life support skills so that we are ready to go downrange and support the force. Under Patrick's visionary leadership, Blanchfield Army Community Hospital is recognized as one of the highest performing hospitals in the MedCom, as evidenced in the team's superior performance in the areas of readiness, quality, fiscal responsibility, and Sergeant Major, yes, I didn't forget, training. Blanchfield rocks it in training. Patrick skillfully led the team to prepare for the transition to DHA, focusing on operational readiness, briefing key senior leaders on operations at Blanchfield, to include, if you may have heard of, the Secretary of the Army, the Sergeant Major of the Army, the Chief of Staff of the Army, and the Army Surgeon General, just to name a few. So we may have to reconsider whether Fort Campbell is the center of the Army universe with all that power coming in to look at how you're taking care of the troops. But I want to make sure to be clear that commanders never lead alone. I'd like to recognize and thank Patrick's family as well as those who have mentored and supported him while on command. On behalf of the Army and Army Medicine, I want to thank your partner, Robin. Thank you for supporting him and for sharing him with us during these 2 years. His son, Ricky, and his daughter, Savannah, and his father, David, and his wife, Debbie. Thank you for sharing your partner, father, and mom. Thank you for sharing your son with us in raising him so well. Mom's a nurse, and so no wonder that Patrick learned the business of medicine early on and how to take care of people. So thank you. Colonel Birchfield, as you leave the Fort Campbell community, and I just got to hear at your award ceremony what an impact you've made here, I know that you will treasure your time in command here. I also know that the experience you gained here while serving this diverse and distinguished community will be among one of the top highlights of your career. You have truly left this place better than you found it. Best wishes as you move on to Redstone Arsenal to serve as the surgeon for U.S. Army Space and Missile Defense Command. Job well done. As difficult as it is to say goodbye to Colonel Birchfield, I am delighted to welcome Colonel Vincent B. Myers and his family to Blanchfield. His wife Mel, his son Finn, and his daughter Anna. His parents David and Debbie, and in-laws John and Jane Claiborne. Thank you for your unwavering support of Vince as he enters this new chapter as an Army medicine leader. I know families sacrifice a lot, but I have it on good information that while the kids have sacrificed a lot, a dog is coming their way as part of the reward. And Uncle Schoolmaker is already helping to continue to set the stage for that. So, Vince, you've got a long uphill battle there. So, Vince, Blanchfield is receiving another outstanding Army medicine leader who will build upon the legacy of excellence here and take the organization to a new level. Vince joins us from the Pentagon, having served as the military deputy for the Office of the Assistant of the Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs, Mr. McCaffrey. His reputation for collaborative, insightful, and mission-focused leadership, always in the context of caring for his team, makes him the right leader at the right time to take Blanchfield into the future. Vince, today you take command of a talented team of committed soldiers and civilians. You have a phenomenal opportunity to lead in a challenging environment in support of the Fort Campbell community. As we guide the Army out of the pandemic constraints, I know that you will stay focused on providing the very best medical care while you help us lead change. Welcome to the Regional Health Command Atlantic Team, the A-Team, the Ready Now region. Thank you all for joining us today. It is a great day to be a soldier, a great day to be in the military health system, and a great day to be a part of Army medicine. Army medicine is Army strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing commander, Colonel Patrick Birchfield.
Is this thing on? Can y'all hear me? Okay. So good afternoon, and thank you for being here to support our Blanchfield Army Community Hospital and Fort Campbell Medical Activity Change of Command. Special thanks to our distinguished guest, Mr. Tom McCaffrey. Sir, I only met you one time before. I was impressed by your taste in blazers. I'm glad to see nothing has changed. I want to be like you one day. Mayor Jim Durrett, Mayor Joe Pitts, community leaders that have always supported us. Lieutenant General Ronald Place, sir, thank you for coming. Lieutenant General retired Eric Schoolmaker. Sir, when I was an intern, you were the SERMC commander, and you said you would trade places with me, and I would have taken you up on that. I just want you to know you didn't really offer me that. Civilian aides to the Secretary of the Army, Mr. Bill Harpel, Mr. Phil Harpel, Ms. Kelly Pendleton. I think I screwed the order of that up for protocol reasons, but it was just easier to say it that way. Thank you for always being supportive. 101st Airborne Division, and Fort Campbell Commanding General, Major General J.P. McGee, sir, thank you for coming, and Command Sergeant Major Veronica Knapp. Rear Admiral Ann Swapman, thank you for coming, and Brigadier General retired Scott Brower, former Senior Mission Commander and someone with whom I interacted earlier in my career and was helpful. And Fort Campbell champions Rita Bodensteiner, Charlie Kuhn, and Roy Stevens, thank you all for coming today. I'd also like to welcome everybody who's watching online, our family and friends, and a special welcome to the Myers family. Melanie, Finn, and Anna, welcome. These next 2 years are going to be great as you make Fort Campbell your new home, and you're not going to find a more supportive community in which to integrate. Vince, you've now taken command of an incredible organization, #1 in the MedCom in soldier readiness, mission-focused, with a dedicated and competent civilian force. No doubt you will lead and move this organization forward. Ladies and gentlemen, the soldiers standing before you represent 2 battalions of BOC, the Troop Battalion and the Soldier Recovery Unit. They represent the best of the men and women in the United States Army and in our nation. BOC soldiers, thank you for representing us all so well. To the 101st Airborne Division Band, as always, you sound terrific. Got a sextet this time. Love it with an oboe. I know everyone says it, but I hope you never get tired of hearing how much dignity and a sense of tradition that you add to every ceremony. Thanks to the Blanchfield Army Community Hospital Color Guard, recently reconstituted of all new soldier volunteers after COVID, of course, ended all of our ceremonies for over a year. You guys look fantastic. Reverend and retired Army Captain, Aeromedical PA, Brett Reeves, my first PA. Thank you for your foundational words of thankfulness and for always being my brother and my friend. Thank you, Brigadier General Krieger, for hosting this ceremony during your first few days in your own command. We are honored that you hosted this ceremony on our behalf and took the trouble to come down here in the midst of the whirlwind of your brand new assuming Regional Health Command Atlantic. There's two things I have to accomplish with this speech, which are to say a lot of thank yous and to highlight some of the accomplishments of the past 2 years, not my accomplishments, but Bach's. That presents a conundrum because there's absolutely no way to thank everyone who deserves it or to mention all the great things that Bach has accomplished over the past 24 months. So with apologies to those I neglect to mention and being mindful that everyone is here to celebrate Bach's future and not dwell on the past, I'll try to keep it short. First, the thank yous. It's truly hard to know where to begin because there are so many people. I'll start with the regional commanding generals, all 5 of them from my past 24 months. Major General Crossland, my mentor, Major General Talley, Major General Place, Brigadier General Lodi, and Brigadier General Krieger. Thank you for all the trust and confidence in me to command this complex organization. Similar thanks go to the Fort Campbell Senior Mission Command teams. Major General retired Winsky and Command Sergeant Major Barker had to put up with me the most during COVID town halls, but Major General McGee and Command Sergeant Major Knapp, I'm truly excited about the direction you're already taking this post. Thanks for attending today. I also need to recognize the excellent support and partnerships from the previous Deputy Commanding Generals, Brigadier General Gill. I was happy to see Fran here today. Where'd you go? Brigadier General Foley, Colonel Cogbill, and the Mission Support Element Director, Mr. Yeager. From Bach, I have to recognize the best deputy commanders I could have wished for. Colonel Stephen Richter, Colonel Don Harold, Colonel Amanda Forrestal, Colonel Brian Friedline, and Mr. Jim Nix. You all truly executed the daily operations of Bach nearly flawlessly, and that allowed me to concentrate on the external communications, partnerships, and operations, which were so vitally important during this past year or so. Thank you for all you did to serve this community so well. Command Sergeant Major Daniel Santiago, my battle buddy, thanks for always having my back and for giving me the best Christmas present I've ever had in my entire life. That was watching the pure joy on DJ Savvy's face as she entertained a full house. Special recognition goes to all my Iron Major and civilian department chiefs and their NCOICs. You're where the rubber meets the road in hospital operations, getting after the business of healthcare, and you do it so well in every case. You came together to form the first ever Bach Future Operations Cell that enabled us to meet the needs of our entire community during the COVID pandemic. Colonel Kevin Hamilton, I see you over there. You were pre-positioned for command, and you took on the DHA transition as our transitions officer, and then you flipped like a light switch over to COVID operations. You've been an invaluable partner to Bach since you did take command at the 531st. Thank you. Thanks to the battalion command teams, Lieutenant Colonels Mokler and Patterson, Sergeants Major Bellinger and Bond from the Troop Battalion, and Lieutenant Colonels Holt and Reagan, and Command Sergeants Major Pelleman Rivera from the Soldier Recovery Unit. Your mature decision-making gave me the confidence and the trust to operate through Mission Command. And Laura, Dave, Fred, Christina, and the Public Affairs Division saw me more times than any previous commander, and probably more than they wanted to, thanks to the 30 town halls they executed live over social media platforms, each one including the Senior Mission Commander, the Garrison Commander as well. And I want to give special recognition to my XO Major Wendy Price, who extended a tough, grinding 1-year job into 2 years to ensure that Bach was synchronized during historically difficult times and that I was kept as sane as possible. I did want to see you do the little adjutant walk, though. We're going to have to get a bigger field next time. Some personal thank yous, if you'll indulge me. My Task Force Shadow 60101 crews. I saw Nick in the crowd today. Thanks for being here or watching online. My Cole Park neighbors, thanks for including the dark house on the block when you have social events. And lastly, and most importantly, to my family, to my mother, Denise Birchfield, my father and stepmother, David and Debbie Birchfield, thanks for always giving me your time and attention and helping me with anything I've ever needed. Ricky and Savannah, I've enjoyed being so close to you and seeing you grow. Ricky, congratulations on graduating high school and starting at Austin P this fall. I'm incredibly proud of you. Savannah, I've enjoyed every minute of watching you DJ and obsess over A380s and bearded dragons. You're an amazing young lady, and I love you very much. Robin, thanks for enduring what must be a record for ways that a trip can go awry to share this special day. Your love and support has meant the world to me these past 2 years. Thank you. And now for just a few Bach highlights. I can't talk any faster. Just for a few Bach highlights from the past 24 months. Blanchfield has a huge mission to support 108,000 eligible beneficiaries for services that include pharmacy and laboratory and the all-important administration of the COVID vaccine. In addition, the Blanchfield team provides first-class medical care to over 72,000 enrolled beneficiaries and has a health service support area that reaches Canada and includes a direct support relationship with Rock Island Arsenal, Illinois, and Fort McCoy, Wisconsin. Our laboratory certifies facilities at Fort Knox and Redstone Arsenal, and our SRU has the largest catchment area spanning from Tennessee to Michigan. Blanchfield Army Community Hospital is truly a regionally significant, indispensable exporter of training and medical readiness. Shortly after my taking command, the Blanchfield team demonstrated their commitment to quality and safety during the 2019 Joint Commission Survey, achieving the coveted Gold Seal and 3-year accreditation. We will continue this excellence and foster our important relationships with our community partners, such as the Tenova, Jenny Stewart, Northcrest, Vanderbilt, thanks for being here today, Alex, Centennial, and Skyline Health Systems, to name just a few. No one could have predicted the challenges this command, or any command perhaps, coming into command, I thought the transition to the Defense Health Agency, sir, was going to be, the biggest thing going on in our world, and that's kind of going on in the background now. Your team has made it easy for us. I thought that was going to be big, and for this well-established and mission-focused box staff, and I wasn't the only one. 6 whole days after taking command, the FORCECOM commander, General Garrett, was in my conference room asking me what the impacts were going to be of COVID, or rather the DHA transition. Nobody predicted that a national health crisis would completely divert all of our planning and preparations. This command is definitely much different than I envisioned, but I'm grateful to have served as the commander during this pandemic. It was gratifying to watch the talented Iron Majors, Steel Lieutenant Colonels, Rock-Hard NCOs, and Bach Bedrock civilian team members work collectively to plan for COVID operations. They created detailed military plans for phased bed expansions, training programs for all levels of medical providers across post, and created processes for triage, testing, treatment, and finally vaccination of our entire protected population, all while deploying several key leaders to places like New York's Javits Center to treat the nation's sickest citizens. Our lab and primary care team experts implemented highly effective and efficient testing procedures to include a drive-through tent, which supported testing an average of 115 individuals per day and 324 at our peaks. In addition to symptomatic testing, Bach's team led Fort Campbell as the first CONUS installation to execute and validate pooled asymptomatic testing in support of FORCECOM readiness. Consequently, Fort Campbell deployed the first 2 brigades to a combat training center rotation during the COVID pandemic. And our COVID patients here at home received the absolute best medical treatment possible. Our team implemented cutting-edge medical technologies, such as monoclonal antibody infusion and COVID convalescent plasma, to shorten hospital stays and boost patient immune responses. The team managed an average daily census of 4 COVID inpatients, including at least 1 miracle. And I mean, I'm serious about that, a miracle. We had a patient who was intubated and on a ventilator for over a month, and he left the hospital healthy. He reminded us of why we do what we do, which is to provide the best health care in the world for the most deserving patients. A large part of Bach's success during the pandemic is due to the support of our garrison and division leaders. The Bach team championed the execution of COVID-19 vaccine administration with more than 57,000 doses administered to date. I checked up on those numbers, ma'am, updated them a little bit, protecting our soldiers, retirees, and their families. And I have to give special thanks to my battle buddy, Garrison Commander, Colonel Jeremy Bell. Yes, I still would have stolen your barbershop appointments at the War College. No regrets. For every time Bach had to use bottled water to provide patient meals because a groundhog got into the cistern, or Bach had to deploy industrial hygiene because of lead paint concerns in housing, or Bach had to buy cell phones for patient appointments because an explosion in Nashville knocked out our phone service, Jeremy and the Garrison Command team was there, managing the crisis. Not just for Bach, for the whole of the Fort Campbell community. Jeremy and the other Lieutenant Unit Commanders know what it's like to be 100% committed to the success of Fort Campbell and to answer to a higher headquarters on a different post, maybe even with competing priorities. Thank you, Colonel Bell and Command Sergeant Major Harbour, for being a tremendous command team and taking such good care of the rest of us. That's reminiscent of one of our town halls right there. Under the Troop Battalion and Command Company Medical Company leadership, Bach was recognized as the #1 performing organization for readiness and training during the inaugural MedCom SATB semi-annual training brief, which was held right here at Fort Campbell. The Soldier Recovery Unit leaders and team transformed the Army's largest warrior transition battalion, reorganizing as Soldier Recovery Unit. They executed the largest organizational change in the history of the Warrior Transition Unit, losing several positions, but without any involuntary civilian job loss. Their compassionate leadership and commitment to soldier care were demonstrated when they won 5 MedCom-wide civilian awards for their world-class case management to America's most deserving soldiers. In the past year alone, Bach has performed over 46,000 COVID tests, had 2,057 births, 4,300 surgeries, 37,000 emergency center visits, 138,000 appointments, 120,000 virtual appointments, and 72,000 behavioral health appointments. As we speak right now, Bach is executing a Mobilization Forces Generating Installation Level 3 MOBEX at Fort McCoy, Wisconsin. This is the first Level 3 MOBEX executed at a cold MFGI site, which just continues to demonstrate that Bach leads the way for readiness, generation, and exportation. Colonel Myers, you're taking over the best MEDAC in the Army, hands down. I'm excited to see where you take the Bach team next. The future is bright for the U.S. Army, for Fort Campbell, and for the Blanchfield Army Community Hospital. Preservation of strength, air assault, Army medicine is Army strong. Bach 6 signing out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, United States Army Medical Department Activity and Blanchfield Army Community Hospital, Colonel Vincent Myers.
I grabbed a blue binder out of Patrick's office today thinking nobody else would have a blue binder. There's like 3 of them up here today. So. Well, good afternoon, Honorable McCaffrey, Major Durrett, Mayor Durrett, Mayor Pitts, Lieutenant General Place, Lieutenant General Retired Schoolmaker, civilian aides to the Secretary of the Army, Mr. Harpel, Ms. Pendleton, and Mr. Phil Harpel. Major General McGee, it's great to be on the team. Thank you. Sergeant Major Knapp, it's great to see you. Rear Admiral Swab, thank you for all of your guidance and leadership along the way. Brigadier General Retired Brower, thank you, sir. It was great to meet you earlier. And the champions of Fort Campbell, thank you for joining us today for the change of command. I'd like to take a moment to thank the 101st Screaming Eagle Band and the soldiers of Bach for making this a day to remember. You're the fabric of our nation and what makes our Army the best in the world. I'd like to thank Colonel Patrick Birchfield for the great handoff and dialogue over the past few months. It's really been helpful, Patrick, and I can't thank you enough for that. Best wishes as you continue to support Army medicine in your future endeavors. I would like to personally thank the Clarksville, Oak Grove, Hopkinsville, I'm still learning all the communities, civic leaders, government leaders, and healthcare leaders, because without partners, we would not be able to survive. Thank you for all that you do for the community. It's very evident even on day one to us. Across the nation, Army medicine would absolutely been able to take care of our mission without great community and partners on the installation. I look forward to working with all of you in the future. It's truly an honor for what used to be a young kid from a small Pennsylvania town with big dreams to be standing before you today with the privilege to lead and serve alongside Blanchfield Army Community Hospital team and support the Screaming Eagles of the mighty 101st. The readiness of the division, coupled with the readiness of our medical force, is critical to ensure those same soldiers that stand before you today survive in harm's way under any condition, at any location, and against any enemy. Over the past year, the Blanchfield team has worked tirelessly to fight COVID through force health protection measures and by providing thousands of vaccinations, tens of thousands of vaccinations. Even as COVID raged on, you continue to support all aspects of the medical mission, including the initial phases of a historic military health transformation. I could not be more proud to join this elite organization of dedicated professionals. I would like to personally thank Major General McGee and Brigadier General Krieger for the opportunity and privilege to command this organization. To my family, I don't even know where to start. I'd like to thank my parents, Dave and Debbie, and my in-laws watching virtually, John and Jane. Your support over my 21 years of service has truly allowed us to keep it all together. Barely together, but together. To my children, Finn and Anna, yes, we are getting a dog. The big joke was every day when I would come home, because we told the kids, when Dad retired, we could get a dog. Every day when I would come home, it was not, good evening, Dad, how to go today? It was, did you retire today? Every day. And so after a while, we gave in. The minute we gave in, it was, when are we getting a dog, of course. I appreciate you allowing me this opportunity for us to unpack first. And thank you for being great kids and enjoying this adventure. I love you very much. And of course, my wife, Melanie, the Myers family glue, whose job as a military spouse is way harder than mine will ever be. You're amazing. Your love, patience, and dedication across 10-plus military moves over 3 continents since 2007 is simply unwavering. I appreciate you being my battle buddy and carrying me along the way. Thank you for all you do, and I love you very much. I'd also like to wish you a very, I'd also like to wish you a great future with us here at Fort Campbell, and thank you for all that you do for our family. As COVID has taught us over the past year, we cannot predict what the challenges will be in the future. However, the Blanchfield team is ready for any challenge that lies ahead. As we return to a new normal and the military health system undergoes historic change, we must continue to ensure we support those that we serve, the soldiers of the 101st and our mission partners, their families, and all of our beneficiaries. We must continue to focus on the needs, whether it is deployment readiness or the birth of their first child. And we must continue to care for each other, our battle buddies, and ourselves. These critical tasks will not change, regardless of any conditions in the future. I am honored to join the Blanchfield team and to care for the dedicated soldiers, civilians, contractors, and staff who ensure Army medicine remains Army strong. Air Assault. Thank you.
Sound attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the retirement of the colors and remain standing for the playing of the Screaming Eagle song and the Army song.
Till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along.
Sir, this concludes the ceremony. Take charge of the unit. Take charge of your unit.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. We thank you for attending. You are invited to attend a reception for Colonel Myers located outside the hospital inside A building.
Thanks everyone for watching the ceremony today. Right now we're joined by General Place. And I know that it takes a lot for you to take time out of your schedule to come to a ceremony like this. Why was it important to come to this ceremony today?
Well, what we do is we serve service members, and as a leader within the Joint Force, and where the greatest representation of our support to service members is important to me. I have very good understanding of strategic implications and the requirements of the Pentagon, but it's where that work is actually done on the ground. Being present for that is important, and then showing presence at these historic changes of command is a perfect opportunity to do all aspects of that mission.
Now, you've been very involved, especially throughout COVID, everything we've been through in the last almost 2 years, it seems.
Sure.
So just tell me a little bit about that interaction with the whole enterprise of DHA when it comes to hospitals and organizations like Blanchfield.
Well, the key elements of that support are in our facilities. If you think about testing, for example, lab testing, the lab technicians, they work in the hospital. The test kits, etc., that comes from logistics in the hospital. If you look at the elements of care and care delivery, again, the process and the procedures, they come from our organizational headquarters, but the effect of that is at the hospitals. We look at vaccinations. Again, we can set policy on it, but the actual work gets done at the hospital. All the interactions of importance when it comes to a pandemic or essentially any healthcare system, the main effort is the main effort. And that's in our clinics and in our medical centers and in our hospitals. Where that's happening, that's the most important part of the organization.
And you've talked about June being a month of action.
Yes, sir.
And we've had this goal, the president set a goal of reaching 70% vaccination by July 4th. So just tell me a little bit about that and where we stand.
Well, sure. Across the Department of Defense, we're at about 68%, almost 68%. Have gotten at least one vaccination across the active duty force, and we're at about 56% that are totally vaccinated. But here on this installation, and specifically in this division, much higher than that. The numbers that I saw this morning, 78% of 101st Division soldiers, at least one vaccination, and 74% fully vaccinated. So we're doing well across the Department of Defense, but leaders here in the greater Fort Campbell area really took it to heart and have done an outstanding job.
Absolutely. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I know that you have a hail and farewell, basically. So thank you so much for taking time with us today.
Truly my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.